Hey guys, Darkovika here, and I'm starting to try something new. So this series is a bunch of one-off videos where I'm going to create a sim for something called a sim story challenge. Now this is probably already a thing, but it's just something I coined pretty much today, and it's a very simple idea where I create a sim with a sort of story challenge. Now, I mean, it does not matter if anybody follows this. It's just a really fun idea that I had. Where if you guys wanted to, you could download the sim and create a YouTube series or just play it on your own. You don't have to record it, obviously, and then you could send it my way. And I'd love to see how these sims sort of grow and expand, and it might just be a really fun way to be creative with the sims, because I find myself falling into this sort of pit a lot where I stop being creative and all of my sims are exactly the same and they don't have stories, or maybe they started out with a story. I mean, one of the best experiences in The Sims 4 that I had recently was when I created and stuck to a story sim where she was from Stardew Valley, and I created all of the Stardew Valley characters, and she had I went through their entire lives. That was some of the most fun I've had. So I decided to create this challenge. Now, while this challenge does have rules that are pretty set in stone, I didn't exactly want to have a point system because I don't want people to feel like their creativity or the story of these sims has to be penned in to a certain set of rules, because that's typically what stops me whenever I do these sort of challenges in The Sims, is that I feel like they're not allowed to expand. So while there's no point system, if you wanted to come up with a point system, you totally could. I will link I will link to a written out portion of this challenge. I actually did create a blog for it, and I'm gonna read off of the blog because, as we all know, my attention span is like -5. So without a script, I will go right off the block. So without further ado, I'm pretty sure I've explained this long enough. Here is the Sims 4 story challenge for Wulf Scarlette. So Wulf Scarlette is a foodie. Growing up, her home was constantly filled with the smell of delicious food, and it wasn't uncommon for her mother and father to throw big parties, which were known to have incredible amounts of food. Both her mother and father loved cooking passionately. It was how they met, after all, competing in cooking competitions in their original hometown, and they loved it more when cooking for people they loved. This passion moved on to Wulf, who moves to San Myshuno, looking to expand her cooking knowledge after moving out of her parents' home. Wulf loves, above all else, food. She loves even more throwing big parties and cooking for her guests, and wants above all else to become a master chef. The more events she can throw that involve serving food for all of her friends, of which she hopes to have many, the happier Wulf is. In terms of style, Wulf loves the boho style of fashion. Most, if not all, of her clothing is boho, and she loves accentuating her bright red hair. While Wulf is very loving, she's never been too hooked on romance, but if she did fall in love, it would have to be a romance like her parents. Someone that, like her, loves food and cooking. Because Wulf understands the value of cooking with natural ingredients, she has a secondary passion for gardening. One of Wulf's quirks is that she's very clumsy. Otherwise, she's incredibly cheerful and loves herself the way she is. So, rules to the challenge. Wulf's aspirations cannot leave the cooking section except for specifically the freelance botanist. While the storytelling challenge is active, Wulf may only choose freelance botanist, master chef, and/or master mixologist. All three are acceptable, only one is acceptable, whatever you like. Wulf's fashion should remain as close to boho as possible. It's a part of her personality and her tastes. Wulf's main focus for skills is maxing out her cooking. This can, of course, be supplemented by mixology and gardening, but cooking is the most important. Obviously, she can also reach into fishing. Anything that will accentuate her cooking prowess is acceptable, and anything else, it's not like you lose points for accidentally expanding programming or something. If you have on, free will, obviously Sims do whatever they darn well please, so you're not in trouble for having a video gaming skill. And charisma is, of course, acceptable. If Wulf finds herself a little lonely or wishes for romance, that person must also be a foodie. While Wulf doesn't need to keep the career, one of her life goals is to have the title Master Chef. Maxing out the culinary career before she dies, therefore, is vital to the challenge. She does not need to max out both paths, only one, so you don't have to restart the career. If you have the season's expansion, any and all holidays involving food must at least be participated in. I thought it would be kind of cruel to make it, required for you to succeed in it, so she just needs to participate in at least the food portion of the event or the holiday. Wulf should remain human. or an alien, but she should pretty much just be mortal. She has no interest in living eternally, especially considering vampires can't eat food. That would be tragic. I mean, it's not that they can't eat food, but obviously you get what I mean. So here are suggestions for the challenge. These are not required, but they are, you know, just to make it more interesting. Wulf actually does not need to live in San Myshuno, because obviously that's a DLC thing. But she should at least live in the spice market section. She can live wherever the heck she wants, or wherever you want her to live. But if you have it, it would be fun to put her in the spice market section of San Myshuno. Wulf's first focus can be upgrading her kitchen above anything else, which is, you know, obviously very important to her. She's a foodie. Wulf can own a restaurant or even a cafe, so to speak, which is a store that sells things like baked goods or food that she cooks. Either storyline fits her just fine, which is to say a store or a restaurant. Wulf may join the Upper Crusts Club or create one for herself. Bonus points for creating a requirement that all members must be foodies. Any events that Wulf throws must involve her cooking for her guests. She's never allowed to hire another chef, not even for her own wedding. I made this a suggestion because events are difficult and sometimes I have problems unless I hire someone, so that's just a suggestion. Wulf can study vampire knowledge, if you have the DLC for it, to learn the drinks for vampires, and a tiny goal could be turning Caleb back into a human, considering he's a foodie who clearly has reservations against being a vampire. So that's just like a tiny storyline thing that you could do that might be really fun if she becomes friends with Caleb and decides to help him become human again. So I mentioned that she should only pay attention to the gardening. You know, she can only reach out to the gardening thing. I think I'm actually going to expand that to fishing. So if you would like, I'll make that a suggestion, actually. So as a suggestion, you can also include the fishing aspiration. So if she wants to max out fishing, because I just remembered that's also food related, is fish. So she should be really into getting natural ingredients and getting her own ingredients. Obviously, it's not required because that is a hell of a lot of work to have ingredients for every single meal. But it is not required. She can reach out. Really, the only ones that are required are cooking. That's the only thing that's required is Master Chef. Anything else that involves food is acceptable. But friends, that sort of thing, like party, maybe the party one, but really not really. She's mostly just interested in food. So that's this challenge. Let me know what you guys think. If you have any questions, please post them in the comment section below. I will post a link to the blog for this in the descriptions if you want to see the rules and the suggestions. If you think I can add anything to make it better, absolutely. If you click the blog and there's more stuff added to it, obviously I thought of new things that just didn't make it into the video. This is very new for me, so I'll probably get better at this whole challenge thing as I go. But the blog is really the final bit. I have other challenges on that blog that I never talked about that I might go over in videos. I just made them for fun. I was in a hospital for a family member and I made like 10 challenge blogs for no reason. No one's ever gonna see those damn things. I don't know why I made them, but sorry, I swore. But there you go. That's the that is the Wulf Scarlette challenge. Let me know what you guys think, and if you have any ideas for other challenges that you would like to see, let me know in the comment section below. I'll probably reach into the other Sims games too, and I'll see you guys next time.